fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight we've got the Kylou Glass Gen 4 series here live from Homestead. It's championship night, and oh boy, do we got a championship for you. 5 men will enter the ring, so to speak. Only one comes out. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. Jared, this is the big one.
It is, Dean, and you kind of have already said everything there is about the championship. 5 men will enter, and only one will be crowned the champion, Dean. And I'm looking at this entry list, and it is going to be tight for some of these drivers because we only got 21 drivers showing up tonight. Dean, that means we have razor-thin margins for Chris Owens. He's 15 back. Razor-thin margins for Jason Ratliff. He's 11 back. And with barring some catastrophic things, most likely their race is going to be, they're well behind the 8 ball heading into this tonight. Not saying that they can't win it. They can. There's enough cars to make it happen, Dean, but it's going to be tough for those two in particular. The championship battle, though, really, Michael Walker, Wes Pistol, and Troy Torgerson are going to be the 3 drivers that are really got the edge on getting this championship here tonight.
You know, the other thing that comes into play here, Jared, you know, with the guys so close together, 2 points, 3 points, 11 points, and 15, I think you said, for Chris Owens. I mean, laps led, poles, victories. These things are all going to matter. No incidents. That's a point, right? That's 3 points, I think, for no incidents.
Yep.
So these things are all going to add up. We're not going to be able to add them all in our head. At least I'm not going to be able to. The abacus would be on fire, Jared, if I tried. So we'll try our best out here, but we may not know who our champion is until post-race. This is going to be wild tonight.
Absolutely, and we, I think we'd be remiss not to go back to last week, Dean, at Kansas. Troy Torgerson came into that race 17 back, and he left 3 back because he put on a dominant performance, led the most laps, didn't have any incidents. He was able to pick up a significant amount of bonus points, 8 total bonus points last week, and that was the difference in this race. I mean, during the race itself, he gained 9 points on Wes Pistol, who was the point leader going into that race. So a lot of things can happen. Like you said, there's a lot of bonus points at stake here tonight, Dean, and a lot of drivers in this race, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be something you have never seen on Wind Tunnel TV here tonight.
Well, it might be. And, I mean, we're looking at Chris Owens right now. He won a couple of races before last week. Last week, lap down late or back of the pack late, couple of shuffle outs. He salvages that finish, keeps himself in this thing. He loves this place. Could he win tonight? Who knows? Jason Ratliff, there's a look at him. I mean, all these guys did what they needed to do to survive to get to this race. And Jared, I don't know, when you got 5 guys fighting like this, I don't know if we've had this before. How aggressive are they going to be? How this thing's going to play out? It's going to be wild.
It is, and I think the biggest thing is, I know you're going to go through the starting lineup, but let's look at that group right now. Chris Owens, 5th in points. He's qualified on pole. Troy Torgerson, 3rd in points. He's qualified 2nd. Michael Walker, the point leader, has qualified 3rd position here. Jason Ratliff back in 7th, and Wes Pistol back in 12th position. So Pistol has put himself behind the 8 ball to start off here, Dean. He's had some good laps in practice. I kind of looked at his long run speed. It's very good, and I think that Pistol is focused more on that than he was on trying to get the 1 lap speed. But Dean, starting 12th tonight is going to be a tough row because there's a lot of competitive drivers in front of him, and there's a lot of drivers that want to win a race in this series and put that next to their name, and that's going to be huge for a lot of these other drivers out here tonight too.
Yeah, Lance Ripkout, Eric Whiting, Tom Lester on the track. Of course, Lester's had a couple of moments this season too. Very interesting to see. Can't wait to get it going. We are seconds away as they start the end, I should say, warm up, and we are starting to grit up here. Good old Homestead, Jared. I mean, this is where it should end, isn't it?
It is, and if you think back, Dean, in real life, the very first chase that was ever implemented, 5 drivers had an opportunity to win, and that was 2005 or 2004.
All right, let's get into tonight's starting grid, brought to you by Kylou Glass. Chris Owens doing all he can do out here, being all he can be, so to speak, with a time of 33.139. That'll be worth at least 1 point, maybe 3, I'm not sure. Troy Torgerson will start on the outside of row 1. He wants this. He's hunting for it. Michael Walker starting third. He was leading this thing for, and maybe still is. Jared, can you confirm that?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is still leading by 2 points.
All right,
yeah.
Michael Walker still your leader. Ross Weiss, he would love to get a win here tonight. You know, it's not been a great season for him. He's a talented Gen 4 driver. Ripka and Newton will be in row 3. The Rifleman will start 7th with Jason Brantley on his outside. Jason Spear and Tracy Powers will start in row number 5. And row 6 will feature the Toad Man, Todd Gilly, along with Wes Pistol.
Yeah, we look back at row 7, the last 2 qualifiers to put times in. Klaus Williams and Tom Lester back there. Row number 8 will be Herb and Tom Ashley back there. The Maybe brothers back there in row 8. Row 9, Eric Whiting and Bob LaPrime. Row 10 will be George Dibble and Austin Kraus. We did have, Austin Kraus and Scott Olson. Neither of those drivers are in the server. So we actually have 19 drivers here tonight, which means, Dean, Chris Owens is going to need every single point he can get to even have a chance at this thing.
He is, and he started off in the right foot by grabbing this pole. Now he'll try to lead lap 1. Pace car's off. We're ready to go racing here at Homestead on Championship Night.
A little slow start there by Lance Ripka, but the top 3-point contenders, Dean, get a good start. Torgerson on the outside, already trying to make some moves.
Torgerson on the outside of Walker, pushing the issue. He should get a little run, but it's Walker on the inside who gets the power down. I love these lines here at a Homestead.
Oh, 3 wide. Sorry, Dean. Jason Ratliff on the bottom of that 3 wide. Newton in the middle. Brantley on the outside. They get it sorted out back there, but there is already a gap forming back there around Jason Ratliff, and I have to wonder if there's some strategy at play for the 55 Rifleman driver.
Yeah, there's got to be. He needs this victory here tonight. You see the Bulldog. He's going to come on through. Brantley trying to wind up and fill in that high side. So the Rifleman starting a little slow. That's probably purposeful. Up front, Owens walking away a little bit from Walker. Torgerson right there. And then it's back to the battle. Weiss, Ripka, Newton, and then Ratliff.
Yeah, you know, Dean, right now I want to remind our viewers what the points are. So you do get 1 point for leading a lap. You get an additional point for leading the most laps in the race. So anybody that leads the most laps will get 2 points. If you finish the race with no incidents, you get 3 points. If you get the pole position, you get 1 point. And something, Dean, that I want to point out, there are 2 bonus point things that we don't talk about very much. One, if you win the race, you get 3 additional points, bonus points just for winning the race. And the other 2, I should say, is if you have the fastest lap, you get a point, and if you gain the most positions in the race, you gain a point. And that is huge because Wes Pistol qualified 12th. There's 19 drivers. It's going to be hard to gain a lot of positions in this race, and I think Wes Pistol, Dean, was that part of his strategy possibly to try to pick up that bonus point?
I mean, you never know. It certainly could have been. Those are a lot of bonus points. Just information for everybody watching. Next season, that will change. Some of those are going to be eliminated. But tonight, a huge factor. I hope you wrote them down.
But we'll keep you updated here on Williamstown Tutty TV on all those things. I'll try my best as this race goes on.
All right now Owens doing a nice job. He's been leading this thing from the get-go. This is exactly what he needs. Walker in second. He's doing everything he needs. I think if he finished right here, the championship probably his. I don't know. There's Torgerson, Ripka, Newton all spaced out. Weiss putting a little heat on Newton. And then the rifleman being patient here, trying to let that car come to him. Pistol's closed in behind him too, Jared.
That's what I was about to say. Is West Pistol, Dean, is already up 4 spots. I mean, my goodness. I mean, he is, him and Eric Whiting have already gained 4 positions from where they started. I mean, those 2 drivers on the way forward, and Pistol needs that bonus point to kind of put himself in a good position coming into this race 3 behind. 2 behind, I apologize.
Absolutely crazy right now. I mean, just so much intrigue. I mean, they don't even have to do anything on the track, and I'm intrigued. Pistol making a move on the high side of Weiss, so Pistol gonna grab another one here, I think.
Yeah, put Pistol up 5 positions here tonight. So far, early going, lap 7, but things are starting to get spread out, Dean. And I think that plays into the favor of Jason Ratliff because he's able to save tires and he's able to pick these drivers off one by one. But I'll tell you, Dean, you come into this race 11 points back, you're going to need those bonus points. I'm kind of surprised he didn't try to go for maybe trying to lead the most laps here tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
early.
It is, and that's the thing. When you look at the rifleman, and for that matter, most of these guys, that's how they got here. They're not going to break from their strategy. They're not going to, you say pass to most of that, that's for the desperate. You know, like if maybe Chris Owens, I think, was kind of desperate. He got the pole. He needed the pole. He needs to lead the most. He needs to win the race. But these other ones are really tight, and it's so early, I don't think they're going to break from any strategy until at least lap 70.
Right, and right now, you know, if you're keeping track of bonus points at home, Chris Owens has picked up 2. One of those is guaranteed. That's the pole position. The other one is the fastest lap of the race. I could be wrong on my telemetry, but I believe he does have the fastest lap, at least right now, and that could change. We know pit stops is really when we get that fastest lap of the race set, or late cut race cautions. So early yet to call that, but those are 2 huge points. I mean, he's 15 back coming into tonight, and we look at the other battles on the track, Dean, and everything really starting to spread out here at Homestead.
It is. We're just watching Powers and Whiting go at it. They're still battling. That battle for 11th place. Jason Spear right in front of them. At the front, still status quo. It's Owens out front. He's got a 1 second lead over Michael Walker, who's got about 1 second to Torgerson and about 1 second back to Ripka. Newton on the move. And I can tell you, Newton loves this track, so the Bulldog could be a real factor in this race tonight.
Absolutely. Real quick, while we have a little bit of time, we do have out in the chat right now, the only people talking what I'll call the Troy Torgerson contingency out there, Dean. We've got Doyle Lawrence. I think he's been here every single race, rooting on Troy. And we got Jeff Chandler out there. I mean, we know him well, Dean. Out here, raced with them several times, been on teams with them, etc. He's out there also cheering on Troy Torgerson. So if you're out there in the chat watching, you shout out your favorite driver. We're going to cover them. We're going to go through them. Even if they're not in the championship battle, we want to talk about anybody that's watching out here. So, but just wanted to shout out some of the chat going on out there already tonight, Dean.
Yeah, good stuff. Always good to hear from Mr. Chandler. And, of course, Doyle, been a loyal watcher for a while. As we see Torgerson there in third. There's Walker up ahead of him. Those are tough competitors. They're really, it's a chess match from here. Ripka and Newton. There's Ratliff, Pistol, who got by Weiss. He's up 5 into 7th. Then it's Weiss, Brantley, and Spear, your top 10.
And you look back through here, and you see right there, Tom Lester gets a little bit loose. Klaus Williams making a big move there, but the battle really is around that 13th to just outside the top 10. I mean, we've got Todd the Toad Man back there. We got Eric Whiting, who continues to move forward,
Claude.
and we got Tom Ashley back there as well as Klaus Williams gets very loose off turn 4, and they're 3 wide back there now, Dean.
Yeah, they had evasive maneuvers around Claus. He's back up to speed now. But it looks like Lester trying, well, he got a little loose himself, and he's been hounded from behind by George Dibble. So dangerous situation brewing back here.
4 cars under a blanket there, and that's the battle for 17th. Everybody else has kind of slid out a little bit and spaced out, Dean. And the thing about Homestead is there are so many multiple lines. I heard you talk about that, and we didn't have a chance to touch on it, but there's a lot of different lines. You can wrap the bottom, which a lot of these drivers are doing. You can wrap the first seam. You can put it on the wall. That's probably the hardest thing to do, the funnest thing, but also the hardest thing to do. And you can also run the middle here at Homestead. So there's a lot of options for these drivers to save tire or find a driving style or find a line that fits their driving style here tonight.
You know, I remember when I first got into iRacing, Jared, you know, I was sitting at home watching these videos thinking, what on God's green earth is this? I love it. And it was the finale of the iRacing Coke Challenge as Torgerson gets a little loose there out of the corner. He's all right. You know, and it was so thrilling because of what you just described. They were running different lines. I remember the 2 leaders. I can't remember who it was, but nonetheless, one was riding the wall and one was riding the white line, and they were coming out even lap after lap. Very thrilling.
Yeah, and you know, I haven't driven the Gen 4 car here except the very first week that Gen 4 was out, which was not even the first official week, I guess the week 13 that it was released. There was a couple of races at Homestead I did, and the car, you know, I thought it was fine. There's been some updates and things like that since then. I mean, it's been quite a while since the car has been out. But what I can tell you is, Dean, I really like wrapping the first seam. It just seems to not put as much on that right front tire as this run goes on. Well, I'll be interested to see if that is the same situation here tonight. I mean, we look at the weather, and we are 85 air right now, and that's pretty hot with a track temp of 93. So not a hot track, but a hot air temp, and that'll lead to some slidey conditions.
Absolutely, it will. If I'm not mistaken, humidity at 72%, maybe? I'm not sure. No, 41% humidity, no big deal there. But yeah, it's a warm track for this time of year.
Yeah, it is, and you know, you talk about humidity. If we had high humidity, that would be even more interesting because it would really bog down those engines. 41%, not really going to do that.
No, that's pretty average, pretty standard. That'll be just fine for everybody. Newton all over the back of Ripka. He is looking for 4th. Going to be tough to pass. Newton goes to the high side. I like that move. He'll try to cut underneath them. That's not going to work. So Ripka doing a nice job here, just driving his line and not paying attention to what's going on there. Lap 20 of 135 here on championship night.
You see right there, if you focus on the 3 drivers, Newton, Ripka, and Ratliff, 3 different lines. Newton with a big run off the corner. He might have gotten the back of Ripka.
He backed out of that. I'm surprised. I don't know why he followed him there. He had the run, Jared, but he didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I have a pretty zoomed out view, so I couldn't tell if he got into him, but it was awfully close if he didn't. But you'll see right there, Newton is running more middle, the first groove, I would call it. Ratliff has moved up to what I would consider the second groove, trying to undercut Newton. Here he goes. He's going to make a move in the car. The rear end slid on entry on Jason Ratliff. That's going to bog him down a little bit. Newton's going to pinch him down to the white line. Yeah,
Newton going to fight for everything he's worth here. I would have liked to have seen Ratliff back out and stay where he was and go back to this line, Jared. He is looking good up on the high line.
Yeah, he's not quite on the high line yet, right? I mean, he's not putting it on the boards, which I think is the preferable line. He's kind of running that mid-high line and kind of letting that car wrap open. So he's not letting the wheel come too much to the left, right? He's kind of trying to keep that wheel open as much. And then kind of diamond off the corner, and you see right here, big run off the corner. He's going to get alongside Newton. That's a massive run off of turn number 2.
Ripka, looks to close the door, and he will, but right back to the high side. I love this line. The rifleman making moves.
Newton and Ripka almost came down, and Newton was kind of there already. And you see Ripka, he is in a tough spot right now. That car is all over the place. Dean, this is not what you want to have in front of you if you're fighting for a championship.
Yeah, it isn't. This side-by-side is killing him. He can't find his way around. And now Newton squeaks through on the bottom. So, wow, tragedy almost for Jason Ratliff. He'll go to the bottom now and go by Ripka. I think he'll probably just let him go here.
And really what that battle did, I mean, it's a massive battle, but it allowed Wes Pistol and Ross Weiss to catch back up to the back of this pack. They are now within a second of Ripka there. They are still closing in on Troy Torgerson. So despite that battle, there is some gap that has been closed down. Torgerson, not 90 or 89 machine, as I'm a little bit dyslexic there, has started to fall off a little bit, Dean.
Yeah, Torgerson's slipping a little bit here. And this is something that'll bite him at some tracks. Just doesn't have quite the longevity of others. And you can see he's loose on exit there. So, and I've seen that a couple times out of him. Jared, you start letting that rear end slide, it'll just get worse and worse.
It will. And the big thing I want to emphasize is there are 4 seams at this track. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Dean, maybe even at Kansas last week. Crossing over seams as the run goes on will cause your tires to just hate their life. And that's the easiest way to explain it. I've seen Troy, see right there, crosses over the seam, crosses over another seam. And it's just grating those tires. And I understand on exit you're going to have to cross over some seams. But you have to be able to plant the car in the center of the corner where the centrifugal force is perpendicular, right? If you start doing movements in the middle of the corner, going over seams, you're going to start grinding those tires off. And I think maybe Torgerson's experiencing that right now.
As Adam Newton has made it on by, so the two running that low line looking pretty stout. He's on the move. He's up to third.
Ratliff has gone back to the white line. Ripka kind of moving that up to the first seam there. Russ Weiss, by the way, has gotten around West Pistol. So Pistol, he had some great forward momentum, Dean, for the first 5 or 10 laps. And now all of a sudden it has stalled out, and he is starting to hemorrhage a little bit of time to some drivers behind him. I think Tracy Powers has actually gained a little bit on him.
So, Jared, that leads me to my next question. What is fuel mileage here? Do we have those numbers? And if we do, can they make it to halfway, which would be 67, 68 laps?
I don't have the fuel numbers, but, you know, based on our 1.5 milers this season, as you see Jason Ratliff making a big move on Torgerson there, based on our 1.5 milers that have gone green, Dean, and I you know, I want to make sure I give you the right information and for the viewers at home, but we have basically been able to do around 57 laps.
All right, well,
and
10 laps would
60.
be a stretch, I would think. Now, this track, I think, Jared, is a little lighter on fuel, a little more lifting. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you're not holding the momentum, right? I mean, because like a track like Kansas or Las Vegas, some of the 1.5 milers we've gone to, you know, the front straightaway, there's more, not as much speed, I guess is what I should say. And you go into the corners and you're kind of just blipping the throttle a little bit, those tracks. Whereas the Homestead, you actually have to slow down to get through the corners here. You do have longer straightaways, you're getting a higher top speed, but yes, 100% correct. You are lifting, you are braking, you're doing things that might change the fuel mileage calculus compared to some of the other tracks.
As we look at a replay here of Jason Ratliff getting around Torgerson. So Torgerson in early trouble here, Jared. That car out of shape and fading as now he battles with Lance Ripka. So I don't know if he came back on Lance or what. I think he's getting around him. So Torgerson a little up and down. He's in fifth. Your leader, Chris Owens, doing everything he can. He might be too far back, though, because Michael Walker, he's in second. Owens needs help from the gods, but everybody's praying to the gods here, Jared. Who do the gods listen to?
Well, no, I think it's upside. A lot of different things can still happen in this race, right? And I think that's what makes it so intriguing. And as I watch Torgerson start to drop off, when the car starts to go away from you, you have to find a new line. Like, I know he's been painting the white line all night. Painting the white line is not working for the 89 car. he went to the high side. He found some momentum to hold off Ripka, but he's still not on the same pace, and he's really loose off the corner running the low line. And I mean, if I'm Troy, you're already hemorrhaging time. You're already not in a championship winning position. Find a different line and try to change the heat profile of those tires a little bit.
He just got loose again, Jared. That car coming out of shape. Personally, at this track, I love the first seam. The left's on the first seam, Jared. Always been a favorite of mine.
That 100% what I do too. Yep. And you see that the car is just absolutely out of control, and it's because he's got so much wheel into it, Dean. He's getting wheel into the car, and the car is tight coming off the corner, and when you have wheel into it and you're trying to accelerate, the aero shift just shoves that car back, and you get a push loose sensation. It's really killing those tires. And Dean, you know, I mean, he's still ahead of West Pistol, but I mean, the guy he's competing against is Michael Walker, who is in second position.
Well, I would argue that he's competing with himself right now, Jared, because he's in here fighting this machine. That's not an easy machine to drive right now, and he's doing a heck of a job. I mean, it may not be enough to be at the front, but he's saving himself a chance here. He needs pit stops, and we're probably looking at those around lap 45. Strategy going to play big tonight.
And the other thing I want to talk about, Dean, we've talked about
Klaus Williams off the track, Jared, with his bumper flapping in the wind. He's coming down to pit road. No caution will come out. There's Michael Walker. Newton's caught him.
I'll get a look in on Klaus there, but I did want to talk about West Pistol, who came into this race just 2 points out of the championship, Dean, and he has dropped back from 6th position back to 9th.
Yeah, it's very strange. Pistol's so good in this car. Just not agreeing with him. Right behind him, 3 wide almost. Brantley, Powers, and Ashley fan out through the corner, come back in line afterwards, and we'll stay with them. They'll probably fan out again. 3 different lines here. I love seeing that.
So with Klaus Williams, he actually just got in the wall on his own and just kind of jerked the car into the wall and broke the toe link, it looks like. So I think Klaus might be done for the night.
Well, that is unfortunate for Klaus Williams.
Oh, man. Tracy Powers and Tom Ashley were running a little bit, I think that's Tom Ashley there in the 63 machine. He ran a little bit different line and almost came together there. That's battle for 11th. Torgerson's gotten the car straightened out. West Pistol still hemorrhaging a little bit of time. But boy, I'll tell you what, Dean, you look up front, it has been the Chris Owens show. I mean, we haven't talked probably enough about him, but the gap is 5.1 seconds as Adam Newton now makes the pass on Michael Walker for second position. So, Dean, that's good news for the competitors. Good news for Chris Owens. He needs more cars between him and Michael Walker. But my goodness, Chris Owens says tonight, I'm going to go out here. I'm putting it on the line. I'm going to try to dominate this race and let the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely, and we just looked at that pass. Pretty easy there. Newton loves the Homestead here, something we worked on actually here a couple of years back. He's obviously perfected it himself here. The Bulldog is the fastest man on the track here. He's about a tenth faster than Chris Owens, so you know, Owens got to stay in front of the Bulldog. He's got one car between him and Walker. Jared, he got to keep it that way and, you know, get more of them up there.
Yeah, 100%, and probably some bad news for Chris Owens. Klaus Williams has pulled that car to the garage and retired, so that's going to leave us with just 18 cars remaining on the track, which is going to be, again, like I said, he's up against it, but he's doing everything he can do in his control tonight.
Eric Whiting comes down pit road here on lap 39, so it's starting already. Very interesting, Jared, and I would say, you know, pit road, gonna be huge tonight. Races won and lost on there. I know, because I'm the king of losing them on pit road, Jared.
And Dean, you know, we talk about some of the hardest pit roads. I mean, and the first one that comes to mind is Dover. Well, what is Dover? Well, it's a slightly smaller version of Homestead. It's a half mile smaller. Same shape, but the pit road at Dover, and Homestead are very similar. You come off a bank, and it's right there. It's not quite the same. Obviously, Dover's significantly harder, and the speed limit is lower, which makes it extremely treacherous. This is 45 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour faster than Dover, but this is a pit road that will sneak up on you in a hurry if you're not prepared for it. It's caught out drivers. I mean, hell, last year, Dean, we saw Kyle Larson miss pit road and smash into the barrels and hit Ryan Blaney there at this track. So, I mean, it is a track that catches even the best drivers out of getting on pit road.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Gonna be interesting. Can't wait for it. It's gonna happen here. Chris Owens has opened up a 5-second lead. His last time by, he was 700ths faster than Adam Newton. Michael Walker just off of that pace. So the top three walking away here. Jason Ratliff in fourth. Not quite matching those times. And Torgerson, well, he's 3 or 4 tenths off the pace at this point. He needs a pit stop, and he needs it sooner than later.
Yeah, and another one that needs a lot of help is Wes Pistol, who has now dropped into the 35-second range, Dean. That is not good. He is nearly over a half a second slower than our race leader, and he's fighting for his life in 9th position. Tom Ashley is there in the 62 machine. Powers is there. Brantley is there. Bob LaPrime, I believe, is the very end of this pack. So, Dean, and they are all over the back of him a second ago. I think they kind of were battling it out amongst themselves and kind of got split up. But Wes Pistol is in a world of trouble.
Yeah, he is in trouble. There's no doubt. Now we know second runs will be better than first runs. The track wear is out there. You've got a lot of laps under your belt. You know what the car's going to do. So things will change. One thing that won't change, Chris Owens is going to be fast, Jared.
Yeah, and hats off to Chris Owens. I mean, we got Ross Weiss coming on pit road, and you see right there how treacherous that entry is. He comes in from 7th position. But Dean, I think tonight Chris Owens said, and we talked about it, he put all the chips on the table. He said, I'm going to do everything I can in my power. And so far he is living up to that, and maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, right? He came to play. I think they all came to play tonight, and that's what I love. Michael Walker sitting in third. Right now, if I had to pick, that's your champion sitting in third place. People on the track going to need things to change, and Michael Walker knows it. And the thing I'm going to wonder is who goes long here, Jared? They all want to go long. Who's the one who outlasts everybody here?
Yeah, and I think there's a couple different groups of drivers, right? I think Wes Pistol is going to be aggressive, and I think he's going to try to stay out the longest of the entire championship contenders. Then I think there's some other guys that are just like, hey, I might be able to sneak a win. Like Adam Newton's a wild card in this entire calculus here tonight, right, Dean? He doesn't care about the point battle. I don't know his allegiances as Jason Brantley comes in, so I don't know exactly who he's on teams with or anything like that. But he's here to win, and he's here for himself, and that's going to be an interesting little mix into this, and could really dictate how this race turns out at the very end.
Yeah, it certainly could. Chris Owens on the pit road. So he's first in. He undercuts the field. What a dangerous move by our leader, because, a caution would absolutely kill him at this point. It's a great move to cover them off. Troy Torgerson follows him in. I'm shocked by that. This is wild stuff. The leader says, ain't nobody undercutting me. I'm in. Newton assumes the lead. And something else I wanted to bring up while it's fresh in my mind, I was looking at Jason Ratliff. He ran the high line right by the wall, Jared, and maybe you can speak on this, maybe you can't. I seen the roof flap open up mid-corner.
Yeah, so it shouldn't do that, but I can understand why it did that. There is an aero effect that you get by packing air onto the right rear spoiler. When you do that, the roof flap, in theory, would come up. In real life, it doesn't come up because it's weighted differently. I'm sure it's a modeling issue, a graphical modeling issue on iRacing's event.
I just found it very curious. I seen it pop open and go close. I thought, oh my goodness, is that having an effect? So there goes Owens back by Newton. Owens back on the lead lap. So once again, they're proving us wrong, Jared. The worry, the concern is already over, mostly.
If you're going to rank the move, getting on pit road first is the most aggressive move, because you have to, hope there isn't a caution. A caution, even if a caution comes out, I understand there's a lot of tire sets and things like that. You don't have to worry about run out tires or anything, but you have to worry about restarting 14th if a caution came out in that right now. That's not great. That's number one. Number two is the fact that you have to also be conservative at the beginning of your run as to have tire left at the end of the run. And that's hard to do. So I think that undercutting when you're in the lead is like the most aggressive, 10 out of 10 aggressive move you can make.
Look at this. Pistol under serious heat. Spears gotten by. Power's gotten by. Here comes Ripka on fresh tires trying to hold. Bobbling on the line. Behind them, Tom Ashley and Robert LaPrime. So Pistol virtually, he needs a caution. I mean, he needs to reset here in the worst kind of way.
Yeah, and Pistol came in just 2 points out of the title. So all he had to do was beat Michael Walker by 2 points and Troy Torgerson by 3, as you see Tracy Powers head to pit road. But Dean, that car is, I mean, he is losing he might lose a couple more positions before we get back around to the start finish line.
Oh, most certainly he's going to. I mean, I don't know about that fast, but he's going to lose these two. There's no doubt about it. And LaPrime right behind him. So Pistol just not working out for him. Newton's in. So the Bulldog comes in from the lead here on lap 51. That's going to turn it over to Michael Walker. Point gained.
That's huge. That is huge. And that's why let me start over and try to collect my thought. Chris Owens was aggressive. I think he's thinking about winning the race. But if you're playing chess, Dean, there's a battle. And I think you have to do what he did last week and force Michael Walker to pit with you to prevent him from getting the bonus point. Because now you've lost a point.
Here they come.
You've allowed Michael Walker to get a bonus point that he shouldn't have got if you'd stayed out. So I don't know. I don't like that. I think he was counting on Newton maybe playing the long game, but it just didn't happen. As we got Pistol on pit road and the group.
And Jason Ratliff follows him in, Jared, when he could have stayed out one more and gained a point.
Yeah, there's a couple of chess moves that I'm not seeing how they're playing out on the board yet, but who knows?
Is this like Trump's 4D chess here? You know, it's so incredibly smart that nobody can understand it. Just it's a little joking. Yeah. Don't hammer me in the comments, people, please. Spear coming down pit road.
Oh my goodness, Spear just about smashed into those barrels. If he didn't speed, that's going to be one of the best stops we've seen all night.
Well, you want to talk about good stops, good pits? Look at how far Chris Owens is in front. Holy cow, Jared. He's opened up a 15-second lead to Adam Newton, Ross Weiss, Troy Torgerson, and Michael Walker. Holy, and Jason Ratliff right behind him. I can't believe it. Owens walking away.
Well, here's the other thing, too, Dean. He almost put West Pistol a lap down. That under this cycle of pits. That's insane to me, how well he has executed this and it's put everybody under pressure. I mean, this is something that everybody is thinking about except maybe Michael Walker, who's the guy in charge of the points right now, right?
So guys got to be thinking, what is he doing, Jared? So let's go on board with Chris Owens and find out what he's doing here. I mean, it's not really anything that was going to blow your mind, Jared. It's just repetition and hitting your marks.
Yeah, and you look at how he's pointing that car right down to the white line. And what I find interesting is he is doing a marginal diamond, what I would consider like a 20% diamond. So let's watch him down to turn one, and you're going to see he's going to aim the steering wheel at the white line, not the tires, the steering wheel. Watch him. Right there, gets it down. Well, he didn't get all the way down this time. There it goes, right there. Steering wheel at the white line. That is crucial to getting a good run off the corner. Now watch him into turn 3. Again, going to do the same thing. He's going to aim the steering wheel at the white line right in the center of the corner. That allows him to kind of, Dean, what I would call square off the corner. So basically drive as straight as you can on entry and then drive as straight as you can on exit. And you're basically squaring off that corner in order to get the best run and kind of keep your heat in the tires a little bit better. So I mean, what he's doing is very good for
I,
Homestead.
I wish there were some more cars around him so we could just see the difference, Jared. But I know this, as we approach 3 and 4 still on board here, something I preach at this track, especially for long run ability, is low and late. Stay down there, and he is. You look at this. That's a low, late exit there. That's how you do it here at Homestead. You get that car pointed to the wall. It's a straight drive off. Your tire wear is great. Your speed is great. Everything's good there.
Absolutely, and I am not surprised the gap is so huge, but at the same time I am, as a lot of drivers here have put in some good laps. I don't know, Dean, if the best lap has been overtaken yet, but
Yeah, I don't think anybody came out with a blistering lap this cycle, which is very interesting. There's Newton, there's Torgerson, and there's Ratliff and Walker. So that's your top 5 behind Chris Owens there.
so 18 drivers, everybody is pitted. We've lost 4 drivers on the lead lap. LaPrime, Ashley, and Lester and Dibble all lapped down. But the most impressive thing, Dean, nobody sped. Not a single person. The second most impressive thing is Chris Owens had a pit lane time of 38.2 compared to the next best, which is Troy Torgerson at 38.4. Newton was a 40.5. He lost 2 seconds on pit road, and that's not great for Adam Newton.
All right, and our times are different on my stats here, but show the same thing. And what we also see is, Newton getting a full tank of gas, Walker getting a full tank of gas. His 16.8 pit stop will tell you that. And whereas Owens was only 15.2, Jared, he didn't put all the fuel in that machine.
Yeah, and again, that increases the aggressiveness of that pit stop, right? I mean, he went in first. He opened the pit road door and made everybody change their pit strategy, obviously. I don't know if anybody was going to try to stretch this thing out to 67. It seems unlikely, but he definitely forced their hand if they were even thinking about it. And then on top of that, underfueled the car, which, Adam Newton doesn't know that. And Troy Torgerson, they don't know that unless somebody's in their ear and tells them, or they have the telemetry system you have, Dean. So very interesting what Chris Owens is doing to kind of shape this race in his favor.
I mean, boy, he has done it so far. Unfortunate for him, it's a 2-stop race, so we're going to have to do it one more time. But Owens in total control, still 14 seconds ahead of Newton. Newton about 0.3 faster, so gaining about a second every 3 laps. Troy Torgerson in 3rd, Jason Ratliff closing in 4th, Michael Walker also closing in 5th. And we look at our other competitor, Pistol, still in deep trouble. He's going to need help, but something I always say in here, anything can and will happen here at RGR Racing. The Kylou Glass Series has not disappointed, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last week, right? I mean, just a couple of different things that happened late in that race, and all of a sudden we flipped it upside down. But you look at this race, Dean, I mean, first off, Jason Ratliff got around Michael Walker on pit stops. They both pitted on the same lap. So Ratliff gaining a point there. Torgerson 6-lap older tires. He pitted the same lap as Chris Owens. So he has 6-lap older tires to the 2 drivers right behind him. And then you have Ross Weiss also with older tires than Torgerson. He was one of the first guys on pit road. So I think Torgerson could find himself a nice spot around 6th position, but it's going to be a tough road. But what I'm most surprised about is Wes Pistol. I mean, he came in 8th position, and he's come out in 12th. He's lost positions to Jason Brantley. He's lost a position to Todd Gilly. He's lost a position to Tracy Powers. I mean, that is not what he needed at all here tonight.
Yeah, and quite frankly, we've seen cars passing him that normally Pistol's much better than. So it's very interesting. Pistol not feeling it here at Homestead. He's going to need a ton of help. Who knows? He might get it. The night early on belongs to Chris Owens and that Bell South machine.
And you look at him, he is closing up on the back of Eric Whiting, who is about to become the first car lap down, or first car that Owens has passed on track. He did not pass LaPrime and Herb Ashley on track. He passed them in pit road cycle. but that is huge because the more drivers he puts a lap down, it kind of changes how everybody else is racing in the point battle, Dean.
Sure, we never did really look at that. Owen's kind of surprised with that pit stop. Was he possibly approaching traffic and said, you know what? I don't need the problems tonight.
That's a great question. I will go back and look.
All right, we'll put an investigation on that as we watch Owens coming around, doing a great job out here tonight. Now 12 and a half seconds in front of Adam Newton.
And the answer is no. It was the traffic was about 5 seconds ahead.
Well, just a thought there, Jared. You never know.
Yeah, a good thought. I mean, it would have made a lot of sense, for sure. I mean, and a really smart heads-up play, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But yeah, maybe he just didn't want to mess with them at all. So who knows?
Herb Ashley coming underneath Eric Whiting. That's for 15th. Ashley goes up. Whiting back. Lester back in 17th. There's George Dibble 18th. Claus Williams out. Olsen and Kraus did not grid up here tonight. So, cars spread out, Jared. We're in a bit of a lull here, and we just kind of wait out until pit stop somewhere in the neighborhood of lap 90.
Or, Dean, Chris Owens has listened to the broadcast, and he's heard you preach for the last 16 races. Don't pit in the middle of the window. If you know you can only go, if you can't make it on one stop, pit as soon as you can. And that's exactly what we did. I mean, 45, 90, 135, right? I mean, that is right at the very beginning of the pit road opening. And you preach it every week. Get on pit road as soon as the window opens. Don't pit on lap 50 if you can only make 52 laps. And get on pit road as soon as possible. I think Chris Owens might have just taken that advice to heart.
See, Jared, this is why I love you up in the booth. You get me, Jared. I don't really preach. What I do is criticize and say people can't do math, but you understand what's in my heart.
Absolutely. But, yeah, I mean, and in this case, Dean, I mean, it was the right play. I mean, I don't know how many laps they could have officially done. The longest anybody went was 52. But, if you divide this race into two, you pit on lap 45, you pit on lap 90.
Yeah, and if you got a 5-second lead, you do that without thinking, Jared.
Yeah, and he did.
I mean, I thought it was slightly risky because of how long some of these guys have gone in the past. A caution come out, but everybody got scared and thought they had to cover them off, so they really didn't wait as long as I anticipated. Someone like Michael Walker or Jason Ratliff might. They just didn't do it. Walker right now closing in on Torgerson. That battle for 4th place. Big point here for Walker. I mean, he got 3 cars between him and Owens. He'd love to make it too, Jared.
Yeah, and the big thing too is Torgerson was 3 points behind Walker coming into this race. So he is, needing to stay in front of Walker, and it needs some help. Walker also has that bonus point. Torgerson has not led a lap that I have written down anyway.
Caution!
Yellow's out.
Oh no! As Eric Whiting goes on to pit road, we got George Dibble into the inside wall, stuck there, can't get that car off the wall. He's trying, but the car is too damaged. He'll have to tow. He doesn't want to tow, Jared, but he's going to have to. That thing only steering one way. Now he's got it kind of going. All right, so there is Owens. Wow. Guys needed a break. They got it. Chris Owens had this race with over a 10-second lead. That will be gone.
Yeah, and Dibble, hats off to him. He was heading right for the wall, and he saw what was going on, and he was trying to not hit the wall head on because he knew that would bring out a caution. So he's trying to hold that car down, and what happened was he just kind of smacked into the wall. Same thing that happened to Claus Williams on the racetrack, and when he did it, it broke the toe link in the front end. Kind of a fragile, weird situation there, and the car is crab walking into pit road. But man, that sucks. I know Dibble probably hates that he brought up that caution, but I think he tried not to bring one out.
Yeah, fragile is putting it mildly. I mean, I think they're building these cars like they're building my washing machine out of plastic, Jared.
Maybe, but I'll tell you this, Dean. Chris Owens has come to play, and he has set the pace this entire race as he's going to come on pit road. Those first 3 cars there are laps down, but Herb Ashley's going to pit and take a penalty, it looks like.
Yeah, Ashley threw a little wrench into it there with pitting
Yeah,
off
but,
schedule.
But anyway, now the thing is, has Jason Ratliff, has Adam Newton, has any of these drivers back here learned anything through the first 74 laps? They get a free restart here, Dean. They get an opportunity to figure out how they let Chris Owens get out to a 13-second lead.
Well, this is the thing now, Jared. We got to restart. We know Chris Owens is the best car out here. I don't think anybody's going to debate that. I don't think that's going to change. What can change is how you race them. I look for the Rifleman or Torgerson in the first 5 laps to just try to terrorize them and get that lead away from them.
Yeah, and some bad stops too, Dean. Adam Newton, a very bad stop. A couple different things. I don't know exactly what happened on exit, but he did get held up on entry by Herb Ashley. Herb Ashley slowed down, and Adam Newton almost got ran into. I don't know if he got damaged or not from running into the back of Herb Ashley, but a long pit stop, and he's going to come out well in the back of the field.
Very interesting. So Jason Ratliff slides into second. He's up 5. He'll be on the outside of Chris Owens. Torgerson and Walker will be in row 2. So our 4 championship contenders will be in the front 2 rows. Pistol, who needed a caution, he's back here now in 8th, maybe 7th or 9th. I'm not sure. He's on the bottom. We'll figure all that out. So 9th place. But he's got life, Jared. And the interesting thing here is I don't think they can make it from here. I mean, what do we got, 60 laps? It's borderline. Can we have a fuel mileage race on top of everything else? Holy smokes.
Yeah, 60 laps would be, my calculation is really at the top of that fuel zone, Dean, on these cars. So that's going to be really interesting to pay attention to. But my focus on this next run is can Pistol find anything? Can he get just a little bit more out of that car? Because he has looked awful tonight. Probably his worst performance of the entire year.
Yeah, well, some tracks don't suit people. I think it's clear you're not a big fan of Homestead, at least here in the early going. We've got them re-racked, and we're ready to get going back to racing. Pace car off. It's Owens and Ratliff, Torgerson and Walker. We're back. Green flag racing.
And a long, big jump there. Ratliff was well out of position there and loses a ton of time. That allows him to jump in front of Torgerson. Everybody single file back through the top 5. A little bit of battle on the outside there. Tracy Powers and Jason Spear. Brantley on the outside of West Pistol off turn 2, and that's about it. Everybody else single file.
All right, so Owens gets away. There is the Rifleman, and in my opinion, he's got to go take the lead away from him. He knows Owens will outrun him here, but I don't know if he can do anything about it, Jared.
Michael Walker looking on the bottom of Troy Torgerson, so Walker finding a little of aggressiveness here early in the run.
Michael Walker knows the task at hand. He's trying to get around Torgerson. Torgerson can't get the power down. Already loose up there. Walker slides in front of him.
That would have been disaster. Torgerson did a great job holding on to that car, but Dean, coming off turn 2, that front end of that Navy machine was looking straight at the 22 on the side of Michael Walker's door. That would have been disastrous if those 2 drivers took wrecked there.
Fastest lap of the race, Chris Owens just said it, Jared.
That could be a bonus point, crucial one at that.
Absolutely. It's 32.99 for Owens. Spear chasing the car down the track. He's got Pistol with him. Pistol trying to move up.
The Pistol is in a wasp's nest, a gaggle, a problem that he is not finding a great solution to get out of, and he has to gain some spots. You want to save tire, but at the same time you don't want to put yourself in a bad position and then completely get erased from this race. And you see he's right there in the bottom of 3 wides. Brantley's on the high side. Power's stuck in the sandwich, Dean.
Man, such a deadly position. He's going to have to use him up, Jared. I'd get clear of this, hell or high water.
He's really being conservative, and I understand he doesn't want to go up here and just bump Tracy out of the way or run Brantley up the track or anything. But at the same time, he's had some opportunities and he just didn't take them for whatever reason. And again, I think it goes back to he doesn't have a lot of comfort level with the car at this track.
Yeah, it just isn't under him the way he would like. Out front, Owens walking away again. So Chris Owens doing all he can do. Ratliff, what is Jason Ratliff's situation tonight, Jared?
Yeah, Jason Ratliff came in 11 points out of the championship and has not picked up any bonus points at all tonight.
All right, so maybe clean driving, but they're all going to get that at this rate. So Walker in third, still sitting in championship spot for him, I believe. Torgerson in fourth.
Yeah, right now, Michael Walker would be your champion as they run. He had that extra bonus point. Plus, he has a position on Troy Torgerson that puts him 4 points ahead of Torgerson, 10 points ahead of Jason Ratliff by my calculation. Wes Pistol might actually drop out of second place all the way back to fourth position. And Chris Owens, by my math, Dean, right now would finish up 8 points behind Michael Walker as they run.
And you can see
Torgerson loose again.
Yeah, he's just not. He's not feeling it, Jared. That's driver. That's too much wheel in it. There's something going on. He's just missing that line a little bit. And you look back at Powers here in front of Tom Ashley. Brantley on the high side. Newton in there trying to mix it up. The Toad Man behind him. What a gaggle we got here.
Yeah, Newton with that bad pit stop found himself behind the 8-ball. And he can be conservative here, Dean. I think he's got a really good car. And he doesn't want to waste it, right? And he doesn't want to bring out a caution. I think he's just trying to pick his way through it. Pistol did finally get clear of that group that Newton is at the back of now.
I'm so intrigued by the thought of a fuel mileage situation, Jared. Someone's got to be thinking about it. Who is it? Where is it? Who's the guy who's thinking fuel mileage? And does it come into play with a little bigger tank than we're used to?
Yeah, I think that's going to be crucial, right? I mean, I think we have to kind of look at this, is the fuel going to be the problem? It may not be the problem. If it's not the problem, Dean, I mean, we restarted on lap 73. So that would have put you at, 62 laps remaining? I mean, 31 laps, that's around lap 100, let's say, that you would need to be on pit road?
Sure. I got lost in the sauce there, Jared, of all the calculations, but
well, I'm saying, I guess if you can't make it, if you can't do the 60 laps, like you always say, don't wait around, get on pit road as soon as you can, and the soonest you could get on pit road would be somewhere between lap 90 and lap 100. You can make it, obviously, probably 50 laps easily, but you want to have that tire in there. So I
would say more like 100 to 105, Jared, would probably be where that halfway mark resides. 27 laps to get to 100. You still have 35 to go. So pick up another 5 laps. Say 105, be that spot. But you're absolutely correct on the premise that, we got to do some math here, like we're doing in the booth and fighting it a little bit. At least I am. You got to do that math on the fly, and you got to get in. Guys who wait till 110, 120, it's too late. You got no laps left to make up anything.
Yeah, and I think we'll know, right? I think we'll know, if they can't make it and if somebody's willing to be aggressive. And there's two types of aggression, right? It's the guys getting on pit road early because they can't make it, and the guys that think they can make it and have to, oh my goodness, Herb Ashley, super loose off turn 2, almost into the side of Adam Newton.
How about Pistol picking his way through here? He goes to the high side on Jason Spear. Pistol making a late charge here, so has he figured something out? He's up to 7th. Dibble, he's coming back in off the track. I think he's seen enough for tonight.
And double heavy damage on that McDonald's machine. But Dean, coming into tonight's race, Pistol's worst finish, only non-top 10 of the year, was 11th at Talladega, which is, kind of a crapshoot race. Let's be real. You could win, you could lose, you could finish on your roof. But tonight has not been his night. I mean, yes, he's in the top 10, but it has been, we have basically not talked about him at all except in a negative light.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because Pistol, one of the most experienced in this car, he's had a great season, great driver, Jared. But we know, I mean, you think of someone like and someone's smoking. That's Torgerson. Oh, no, Torgerson, no caution is going to come out. Troy Torgerson has fallen.
Yeah, and Dean, watching the replay back, he crossed over that seam, and when he did, the rear end broke loose, and he locked it down. He did really good to avoid hitting the inside wall, but boy, oh boy, Troy Torgerson now really up against it in his quest for his first championship.
Yeah, he just got that car overturned, and that's been a constant for him all night long.
Now, I'll flip this around, Dean, real quick, and use Troy Torgerson. If Troy Torgerson can't make it on fuel or is even close on making it on fuel, you throw that out the window and you pit on lap 100, 105, whatever. At this point, that is your only play at this point, is to be aggressive on pit stops because you are now well behind the 8-ball.
Yeah, I don't know what his play is. I mean, if I had enough fuel, Jared, I'd limp around and try and make it on fuel. That's be my only play. But the only other play is get on early, get on the pit road now, basically.
Yeah, that is a heartbreak for one of our championship contenders, who is running in the top 5 all night long. But unfortunately, the pay window hasn't even come close to opening yet.
And to just be fair to Troy here, if you're in Troy's car and you're thinking, I'm in 5th or whatever, this is a no championship zone for me, I got to pick it up. I got to try something. And he just throwing stuff at the wall driving-wise. It didn't work out for him, but give him some credit for at least putting the effort forth, right? Like, I mean, there's nothing worse than just riding around and taking a 10th place finish. This is championship night, baby. And Jason Ratliff coming in. He's trying something right here on lap 93. Jason Ratliff first to pit road. Newton follows him in. What a move by the rifleman.
Yeah, that is aggressive to the max, Dean. If there is anybody out there that can make it on fuel, they are now starting to question if they can.
Oh, and he missed his stall.
Oh, my goodness.
He slid through, so that's about another second. He just burned off there. But it's fine, sort of. And Owens is loose coming around the corner. So Owens loose in 3 and 4, as perhaps he's checking his settings, checking his fuel, because he just seen the rifleman pit, and it rattled him a little bit, Jared.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting to be undercut there, and Newton follows Ratliff in. And the thing is this race has not gotten spread out like it was before, right? So this is a big play that Jason Ratliff has done. Almost what I would consider like a Hail Mary here, as Chris Owens is slowing. Here we go, baby. We are opening up the pay window.
Owens is in. He had to come in. He might still come out behind Jason Ratliff. Remember, Jason slid through his stall. Will that be the difference on the track? We're going to stay with Owens here through this pit stop as Ripka joins him on pit road.
And now I'm going to flip the script a little bit, Dean. If there's any chance, and I'm talking 0.01% chance you can make it on fuel, if you're Troy Torgerson, you do the opposite of what these guys are doing, and you try your damnedest to make it on fuel.
Yeah, I mean, it's your only play, right? So Pistol as well. Pistol's someone to think about here. Or
yeah, Pistol, same thing. I think if you're Pistol and Torgerson, you guys have to throw the opposite Hail Mary, and that is conserve gas and try to make it to the end. And at least try to force these guys' hands. But don't forget, Michael Walker is still leading this race.
Ratliff has gone by Chris Owens. So Ratliff is going to have about 2.5 seconds in front of Chris Owens with 2-lap older tires. Holy cow, the rifleman trying to steal this race and maybe a championship. Toad Man on pit road. Michael Walker out in front of this race.
I think that's the huge thing is what is Michael Walker comes into this race as the point leader. He has all the cards, Dean. It doesn't matter really at the end of the day what all these other drivers are doing. It matters what Michael Walker is doing to kind of play this game. And Michael Walker, if he's staying out, and I think that he's going to try to stretch this thing out, Dean, and just be conservative. And this is huge.
Yeah, I mean, I like this play for Michael. I mean, it's, he's probably going to go to about halfway, be 103, 104, something like that, if I had to guess. And he knows he's going to have the freshest rubber. He can run the low line and make all of his passes down there, nice and safe spot for him. And he'll probably work his way right back to the front, top 3, top 5. That'll be enough for him.
The other crucial thing too, Dean, and I want to put this out there, is Michael Walker also needs to be aware of Wes Pistol. The last thing you want to do, and I understand Pistol's been bad. Pistol's in third position tonight, right now as we're running. And Pistol hasn't led a single lap. So you don't want to give Pistol a point because Pistol came into this race 2 points back. You don't want to give him that extra point. I know you've led a lap, but you don't want to reset it back to where it was. You want to keep your 1 point advantage.
The other problem here, caution could come out at any point. Flip this thing on its head. As Owens goes by Pistol, he'll look to try and get all the way back to Walker. That's a bit of a road ahead for him. Oh boy, things are heating up, Jared.
Yeah, it's statistically, most of our cautions in this league come out during the influx of pit stops where we have old tires that are slower and fast tires that are catching, and old tires trying to get on pit road. So, I mean, those are all the things that kind of go into the variables when we get cautions. They're typically in this area where we have drivers on different strategies.
This is something else. The other battle, there's Jason Ratliff, and there's Chris Owens. So Owens closing in. He's about 1.8 back of Ratliff. That could be for the win. Michael Walker, he's right in between them, but he's on a different lap. He's your leader.
Yeah, Michael Walker, all you need to do now is play whatever strategy you have in your mind and not even be worried about Ratliff and Owens or even Pistol, and just continue to drive your race and lead these laps. It's not a foregone conclusion that Chris Owens has clinched the most laps led tonight, Dean. So there's still an opportunity for that additional bonus point out there.
Yeah, and I just think Walker's the one guy can afford to do what he's doing. And I expect him in here probably within the next 3 laps. I figure Walker will be in.
And Pistol is only 2.6 back, Dean. Pistol has found his way to second place, and I understand there's a handful of drivers that have pitted, but my goodness, if you had said Pistol was in the top 5 tonight, I think I would have been like, really?
Yeah, I mean, just a remarkable job of hanging in there, Jared. You got to hang in for these things. Now he's got the Bulldog coming underneath him with fresh rubber. He'll clear him. He'll be fine.
And luckily for him, there isn't going to be too many other drivers on fresh rubber that are going to be coming through here. Newton in 13th there. Gilly in 14th is kind of the only other driver on fresher tires that might kind of come through this field. But it's a pretty decent gap back to him.
We got someone sitting on pit road with a blown engine smoking that part of the track out. We get a little cookout going, Jared.
Herb Ashley down away from pit road. It looks like Eric Whiting is the driver that's barbecuing down there.
All right. Just in case anybody wants a hot dog, hamburger, what do you like, Jared?
Funny story, if I may, for a second, Dean. We handed out candy on Halloween. A guy down the street from me, me and my wife were sitting out front. We saw a fire, and we're like, okay, it's cold. People are got a fire. We had a fire. No, this guy was grilling hot dogs and handing them out instead of Halloween candy. So there you go.
I like it.
Yeah, I went down and got myself one as well.
That's where the parents go. The kids can go everywhere else.
Exactly.
All right, Michael Walker out in front. He's got 2.6 seconds to West Pistol. Jason Spear having a nice run. We know if anybody can make it, Jason might want to be one of those guys that try. And Powers trying to hang on to it on pit road. Just missed the barrels, got loose twice, but he's in safely.
Oh, man. That'll definitely get you up in the seat when that happens.
Torgerson motoring around. He goes by Brantley here. Torgerson's in 4th place right now. Wow. I mean, there's so much going on. Walker still has not pitted. I wonder if him and Pistol are ever going to pit. I don't think they will. It's too late now, Jared. I think they're going the distance.
Yeah, and I think I think 110 is the last time you can pit. To be completely honest, I think if you have enough gap still to gain back time, it'd be a little bit harder. But 110, if it's after 110, it's over. You have to stay out at that point.
Well, Chris Owens, Jason Ratliff, about 29 seconds behind. There they are. They're in the same frame now as Owens continues to close in. Now only 0.8 back of the Rifleman. We are coming down to it, Jared. I mean, I still don't know who our champ's going to be. Walker looking good. Does he have to pit is the big question. It's looking more and more like no.
And Brantley, by the way, Dean, made a pit stop, so he pits on 106. And somebody is blown up. I just heard it out of the edge of my... Maybe it's somebody on pit road, so I apologize.
Yeah, probably that smoking hot dog stand down there is finally giving way. Here comes Spear. So Spear vacates the possibility. And now we got the questions, Jared. Has Michael Walker, if he has to pit, stayed out too long? Him and Pistol. I don't know. But if they pit now, they're going to be in a world of hurt. Because Owens and Ratliff are going to be long gone. So is Ripka and Newton. I mean, the Gilly, maybe Weiss, maybe Powers, Ashley, LaPrime, all of them. That would lose him the championship. So he's got to make it, Jared.
Yeah, I think now we're starting 110, and like I said, I mean 21 laps on fresh rubber is quite a bit. So I mean there is a possibility, but you are putting yourself in a position you have to be perfect. If it's after this lap, there is no coming back. Your race is done. You will not be able to catch the race leaders. There's just not enough fall off.
Yeah, I better dust off the abacus, folks. There's going to be math to do at the end of this thing. There's Torgerson. Still in 3rd place is Troy Torgerson.
Pistol's coming in.
Pistol
my goodness.
So Pistol comes in. Effectively, this is not going to work for Pistol. Now, he could have been waiting for a caution. I don't begrudge him staying out. Walker, if he can't make it, Jared, and I'm his crew chief, if he hasn't muted me, I'm screaming bloody murder on the mic.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, too, Troy Torgerson, his only play is to stay out and try to make this thing. Because he's almost wrecked it. That is
here
his
he comes.
play.
Walker coming in. So Walker comes in here with 25 to go, Jared. This is borderline too late. We'll see who comes around here.
Yeah, and I think
there's
Walker,
Torgerson.
Yeah, Torgerson's staying out, but I wonder if Walker was 3G chessing himself, and he's like, well, Torgerson's way back, and probably can't make it on fuel, so I don't need to worry about him, and all I have to do is worry about Pistol. Pistol is my competition. Ratliff and Owens, they have to make up way too many points. I'm good. I just wonder if that's played into his mind tonight, and maybe he's got himself into a negative position because of it.
I mean, he is going to come out, Walker is, over 13 seconds behind Jason Ratliff, probably closer to 14 or 15 by the time he gets wound up to speed. Torgerson, your race leader, just gained a point, Jared.
He did, and like I said, Torgerson with that lazy spin, this is his only play, is to try to make it. And I wonder, even if he does make it, I don't think he's going to win the race. I think he's going to be holding on to try to maybe even beat Michael Walker straight up. But this is his only play. And the speeds are fine. They don't seem gas-savvy, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's about 6 to 8 tenths slower 22 to go, Jared, and a 12.5-second lead. The math is awful close here, especially when you consider they'll even out a little bit as they go, at least as it relates to Ratliff and Owens. Owens still hunting Ratliff. Ratliff got out in front of him, and Owens has been unable to catch, and I just seen him a little sideways in the center of the corner, Jared.
Yeah, and this is huge because this is the thing. Right now, Ratliff is 7 points good to the good from Michael Walker. So he's still about 3 points off of the championship from Michael Walker. But the difference is if he wins the race, there's the 3 points right there.
Wow.
If Torgerson can't make it and Ratliff wins this race, there's the 3 bonus points that he needs to be able to become champion. So that's how tight of margins we're talking about as Walker gets around Todd Gillies.
Well,
so that's
Jared, let's hope they got tiebreakers in place, because if they've never had this happen, they may not have. Then we got a real cluster, you know what?
Yeah, I believe the tiebreaker is wins and then top fives, but I don't know that for sure. But usually
generally
that's
wins.
Yeah.
And who would have the most wins between Jason Ratliff and Michael Walker, as Walker gets by Reese here, so he's working his way through the field?
Well, Walker hasn't won a race yet this year, actually, Dean.
You're right, so that's pretty easy right there. That'll settle that. Walker coming underneath the Jason Spear now, so they'll come off the corner side by side. Walker, you can tell, being very cautious. Right behind him, Wes Pistol. Pistol's still in this thing.
Pistol's not dead yet, and he has the best opportunity for this title, right? Because he is lockstep with Michael Walker. He is only 3/10 behind Michael Walker, and he has about the same tires as both of them get around a gain of position each. Walker up to 6th position, Dean, and I'm telling you right now, that late pit stop, yeah, Jason Ratliff might end up winning this race, or Chris Owens might have ended up winning this race, but if things stay as is, as long as Troy Torgerson doesn't win this race, Michael Walker is still going to be our champion.
I mean, crazy things happening. Torgerson out front. Now 10.5 seconds back to Jason Ratliff and Chris Owens. It looks like Torgerson can hold them off. Does he have enough gas to win this thing? And if he wins, Jared, does Torgerson win the championship?
Yeah, Torgerson would win the championship hands down if he wins this race. We wouldn't even have a debate or a question about it, because he was only 3 points coming into this race out of the point championship. So if he's able to hold on and win this race, he would easily gain enough points to be the champion.
Wouldn't it be something if Torgerson, it wasn't his night. He actually broke loose, came down almost wrecked, and still now out here with a chance to win it. 17 laps to go, 16 at the line. Can Torgerson hang on? Ratliff 10 seconds back. Owens right where he's been for some time, unable to close in. Walker back in 6th position now, so he's going to keep coming forward. Next up, Ripka and Newton about 5 seconds ahead of him.
The thing that Walker has to be aware of is Pistol is right behind him. Now, both of them have led laps tonight, so Pistol only 2 points behind Walker coming into tonight. Things have not changed in that regard, but Pistol does have that catch-22, and that is the most the potential to get the most positions gained bonus point, Dean. And right now that is by Tom Ashley up 6 positions into 10th, but if Pistol gains just one more spot, he would also get that point as well, and that's a crucial point Michael Walker's got to consider with Pistol on his tail.
So Pistol with really he's got to pass Walker, finish in front of him. He'll get that point for passing him as well. That would be something. The story right now is Troy Torgerson and how much fuel's on board there, as we're on 14 to go for the championship.
Yeah, and if I'm Troy Torgerson, I mean, I'm doing anything I can. I mean, Ratliff doesn't matter, and Chris Owens doesn't matter. They are not your championship contenders. Even if you finish 3rd, you'll still get enough points to win the title, because Chris Owens is going to walk away here tonight now officially with the most laps led. the flip side of that is Chris Owens
Whoa.
winning this race could change things. But
And it's not going to
otherwise-
happen, Jared. Owens just chased it down the track, hemorrhaged a bunch of time on Jason Ratliff. So if Owens is that car violently loose now. We've seen that from Torgerson on the other run, and it's all about how you drive these machines, folks. And this time, Owens is overdriven a little bit. The machine going away on him. He's chasing it up near the wall now.
But if I'm Troy Torgerson, I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I save enough gas. You can't run out now, bud. Like, you don't want to run out and just give it away. You want to try to fight off to the end. And this is so intriguing. 11 laps or 12 laps to go, Dean. I mean, my goodness, what do you do if you're in a driver in this championship battle and it's coming down to these few laps to go? I mean, how are you feeling?
I mean, it's just insane right now. I want to know where I'm at, Jared. I got to have a guy in my ear. I would bring someone in for a night like this, and I need them to be able to do math and figure all the contingencies out because
he's coming in. It's over for Troy Torgerson. The championship is done.
12 to go. Give him credit. He ran that thing dry, Jared. Looking for a caution is what he was really doing. So Torgerson has to come in. That'll end, well, not completely, but he's going to need a caution. He's going to need one right away. Jason Ratliff and Owens now battle for the win. Jared, who's in contention now?
Well, that's going to, we'll flip things up. Obviously, Walker and Pistol gain a position. That's huge for Wes Pistol because that does put him into the potential to getting the bonus point for the most positions gained. But it depends on if Troy Torgerson is able to pass, Tom Ashley or get back around Tom Ashley, who still currently has that point. So a little bit to play there. But now between Ratliff and Owens, this is where things get interesting. Ratliff came into this race tonight, Dean. As I got to pull this up. I've got so many things going on, so many math windows open, right? Ratliff came into tonight 11 points back. He did gain 1 point for leading laps, obviously, so he did get that point, but so does Walker, so that doesn't matter. Likely all these drivers are going to finish with 0 incidents, so that doesn't matter. So the second thing that happens is a win is 3 bonus points. So Ratliff gains 3 bonus points. He has to beat Michael Walker by 8 positions with the 3 bonus points, and right now that's not happening.
All right, as Owen slams the wall on exit there, truly pushing that machine. Torgerson in this mix, but he's just trying to get his lap back, Jared, and he'll do that here in the next lap or corner. So Torgerson will be back on the lead lap, virtually out. He'll need a caution. He needs it sooner than later. Jason Ratliff, not enough. Owens, not enough. It's Walker back here, and guess who's right on his bumper, Jared?
Yeah, Wes Pistol, that's really Michael Walker's competition. Yeah, Pistol needs that spot. Number one, because it's a point gained on Michael Walker, and number two, it puts him in the position to have the most positions gained tonight. He has to gain that point, because right now that's held by Tom Ashley. It is duly awarded. If there is a tie, both drivers get it, so that is crucial. He doesn't necessarily have to have the most by himself. He just needs to be tied for the most, so he needs Tom Ashley not to gain any more positions, and he needs to gain one more. He needs that point. And then if we get down to a tiebreaker, Dean, again, it is Wes Pistol that will win that tiebreaker based on the fact he has 1 win. Michael Walker has 0.
And Pistol working on Ripka there. Ripka may have pinched him there inadvertently a little bit. So Pistol's going to have to waste some time here. And I don't know if Ripka's trying to hold him up a little bit, right? He raced him a little hard there. And now Walker has opened up a couple of car lengths again.
Yeah, and that's huge. Again, Pistol now has moved up 7 positions, so that does put him in for the most positions gained tonight. That is that crucial point. So right now, if things end, it would be 1 point for Wes Pistol. The difference is all it is. So Pistol really needs 1 more spot here tonight without Michael Walker gaining a spot. So this is going to be tight down to the wire at this point, Dean.
This is nuts. Jason Ratliff out leading this race, doing all he can to try and bring it home. Owens so good early on, a 15-second lead. The caution comes out, and now he's behind Jason Ratliff, unable to catch him. Newton in third. There is Walker in fourth. Remember the late pit stop. He's still coming. He could pass some more. Pistol looked good for a while, but Walker's starting to extend on him here.
Yeah, and if Walker gets around Newton, I mean, that's probably all she wrote for Pistol.
4 to go, Jared. Coming down. 4 to go right now. Looks like Lester pulling down the track. Maybe out of control. Not sure what's going on with the 78, but that is right in front of things here.
Jason Spear awfully loose, too. He got up into the wall, but does keep that car controlled. Lester 2 laps down, so no points on the table there.
Coming down to 3 to go. Jason Ratliff, your leader. Chris Owens in second. Newton closing in third. He's your fastest car out of the top 3. Again, it looks like Lester taking weird angles. I don't know what Lester's doing out there, but he's really taking weird entrances right in front of Michael Walker.
Yeah, and I think Michael Walker, if you're him, I think you don't necessarily need to pass Lester. But you don't. I don't know. It's just tough because you don't want Pistol to catch up to you and pass you either.
Coming down to it, 2 to go. The Rifleman with a comfortable lead. Michael Walker back in fourth, holding on to that championship. It's a fine line though. There's Pistol trying to make one last charge.
Pistol has to have it here. I mean, it's going to be next to impossible to gain that much time in 2 laps. But again, we do have some lap traffic. We do have some other drivers that they are catching. But boy, oh boy, Jason Ratliff, I mean, hats off to him. Hats off to Chris Owen. Both those drivers put this on the line tonight. I think they're going to come up just a little bit short as we take the white flag, Dean.
Yes, sir. The Rifleman will head down the back straightaway here. He is in the lead, in command of the race. Walker, he's in charge of the championship. The 55 down through 3 and through 4. It's going to be Jason Ratliff, your race winner. Michael Walker safely through the corners. He'll ride around, and Michael Walker will win this championship here tonight. What a performance. The Rifleman did everything he could do. Owens tried so hard, and Michael Walker says, not enough, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have the official numbers yet, but I do believe, based on my math, Michael Walker did enough tonight to win the title. And I'm sure that, the admins and everything like that are getting that information together to allow for a celebration for whoever is that champion. But hats off to our championship contenders that came into tonight. I mean, we saw some storylines, Dean, that really developed throughout this race. I mean, Troy Torgerson trying to make the car last. West Pistol struggling all night long and tries to bring that thing home and ends up with a solid finish by all accounts. Michael Walker in the catbird seat all night, didn't have any pressure. I don't think he didn't feel any pressure at all. I don't know, but and then Chris Owens doing everything he could within his power to put himself in contention. It just wasn't enough, wasn't to be. And man, what a race and what a season we've had here at RGR.
Incredible stuff, Jared. Just great. And his burnout, real good, too. He's laying down some thick smoke out there. My goodness. The Rifleman happy. I don't know if he's got the news yet that it's not enough. But, and we don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be talking like that, Jared. We're going to have to find out here. Let's check out our race results. Of course, the Rifleman in victory lane. Owens and Newton, your top 3. Walker and Pistol in the top 5. And Spear, Weiss, Powers, Tom Ashley, Prime, your top 10. Some other notables. You got Torgerson down in 13th. Ripka falls to 15th. And, yeah, Jared, a little bit of everything here tonight, including a wait for the official word.
And we got the official word. Michael Walker II is your RGR. Gen 4 high horsepower Kylou Glass Cup winner, Dean, by 4 points over West Pistol, 5 points from Jason Ratliff. Chris Owens grabs fourth position in points, 10 points back, and then Troy Torgerson drops from third to fifth, 12 points behind tonight as the official standings are now posted. So congrats to Michael Walker II.
All right, let's see if we can't get that up there as well. Hopefully my little system will put him in front, and it does. So there it is, Michael Walker. What a night. A little bit of everything here. I love these championship races being at Homestead, Jared.
Yeah, it's the best. I think it's the best track. I mean, Kansas last week was also a barn burner, so that one would have worked too. But Homestead, there's just something about Homestead.
There really is. All right, let's go to commercial. We'll get some race interviews when we return. At the newest version of the ARCA cars out there on the track. But here, we've crowned a champion. That champion, Michael Walker. What a job. What a race. I mean, I loved a lot about this, Jared, but I've always been a Homestead guy. I know a lot of people who don't like it. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks, and man, I think you couldn't have asked for more. That's all I can say at this point, Dean.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our second place finisher here tonight, Chris Owens in the number 26. You gave it your all, man. Congrats on second. I know that's not what you want to hear, but what an effort, Chris.
Yeah, super disappointed in that. That one stings.
Well, it stings, and I don't think the win would have got it for you anyway, Chris, with Walker right there. But, man, you made a real run at this thing through the late portion of this season, grabbing 2 wins and then the second place here. It had to feel good, at least, to get up here and put yourself in this position.
Yeah, it's it's hard to look at the season right now after that one. I wanted that one just to see what would have happened, but there's a couple races that got away from me there that I'd like to have back, and I believe things would be different.
Well, let's talk about tonight's race, right? Dominating performance out here early on, Chris. Great early pit stop. You grab a 15-second lead. There's no way you were going to give that back. Of course, caution changed things. But, you know, Jason Ratliff, he early pits. Did that surprise you? It looked to me like it did. And what happened thereafter?
Yeah, definitely didn't want to see the caution there. Just past halfway, felt like I had got my race going to where I wanted it, and I was surprised to have a 15-second gap there, and just watched second place close it down, but didn't think he would be able to get back to me. So the restart there, thought I was gonna be good, and wasn't even paying attention, and said to my teammate Ross, "Where'd Jason go?" I thought he disconnected or something, or wrecked, and wasn't even paying attention. So probably shouldn't have reacted the way I did and pitted right after him. I think I burnt my stuff up there just trying to get back to him, and we kind of evened out there at the end, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough out here. Homestead, a tricky track, and once you get that car angry, boy, she stays angry, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I burnt my stuff up there on the last round, and doing everything I could to get back to him. Felt like I could have got back to him, but I clearly just burnt my stuff up trying to get there.
Well, we can hear how dejected you are, but I got to tell you, Chris, thrilling performance by you and all the members here of the five guys involved in this championship night. Put on quite a show, man, and you got no reason to hang your head whatsoever. Can't wait to see what you do next season, but tonight, congrats on second, and like I said, can't wait to see what you do next season, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Looking forward to what Todd and George and the guys have in store.
All right, man. You want to shout out anybody or any sponsors? Please do.
Yes, sir. Just again, thanks to Todd and George and all the admins in this league. It's been fun, a fun season. Congrats to Michael. He kicked everybody's butt.
All right, Jared. That was Chris Owens at number 26. A little bit short tonight, but a great second place.
Absolutely. And Dean, I'm down here in Victory Lane. I don't get to come down here too much. You keep me up in the skybox, but I'm down here with Jason Ratliff. Congratulations, Jason, on the win. I know that was exciting for you, but on the flip side, came up just a little bit short in the quest for a championship.
Oh yeah. Michael had that lockdown. As long as he had a good finish and everybody kind of finished pretty close to him. But yeah, we came in with a win. Didn't think it was going to happen, but somehow after the caution, we kind of put the race together and came out on top.
Well, let's talk about that, right? I mean, so the opening stands of this race before the first pit stops, Michael Walker had built up about a 5-second lead over Newton. I believe you were running about fourth position around the time the pit stop started. And then we come out of pit road, and Chris Owens has a 13-second lead on second place. I mean, did you feel like did you have any idea how you were going to overcome that if there wasn't a caution?
Absolutely not. No, he had that locked down. If that caution had come out, it would have been his for sure. I only figured a few things out after I got behind him and kind of see what he was doing and how he was driving out. And I figured I was actually a little too easy on the throttle, but got that down pat and started setting pretty good laps.
Well, and let's flip that over then. So we get that caution, you get that restart, and you kind of put pressure on Chris Owens really quickly. I mean, did you feel like that was your one opportunity there within that first 5 to 10 laps to take it to Chris Owens and try to win that race because you know how dominant he was in that opening part of the race?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been on the inside on doing too wide there, and you're just so loose and don't really have a lot of traction. So I figured if I got to his outside and kept it and was able to stay on his outside on exit, then I would have a fighting chance. And that's kind of what I was looking for. But he ended up just pulling away, and then I short pitted, and the rest played out from there.
Well, Jason, you know that's your sixth win of the year. You had so many good races. You had some races that you probably wish you had back, and obviously you missed some races, but for a good reason. With the birth of your child, I mean, when you look back and you reflect back on this season, I mean, how do you feel about it? I mean, just so many ups and downs all year.
Yeah, I feel good because we had a really good performance this season. Felt like I kind of took a shine to the car, took a shine to just dedicating the race or myself just to like one particular race in our league. So gave me a big confidence booster, really. So hopefully next season we can come in and tighten our belts up and hit every Tuesday and have good runs and good finishes and see what happens at the end of next season.
Well, Jason, you put on a whale of a show tonight. You put on a whale of a show throughout the year. You and all 5 of the championship contenders. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you have the last word on your race tonight and the last word on your season.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. I'd like to thank my teammates, United Motorsports, Michael Walker on championship. Job well done. I'd like to thank Kylou Glass for sponsoring the series, East Coast Web Printers, Jason Brantley for Thursdays, and Alive Church and Mike Brown for Sundays. And prayers for Mike Brown as he recovers from his triple bypass. And like to thank all the admins and you guys up in the booth putting on a good broadcast for everybody to watch and us drivers to go back and watch the next day. And hopefully see y'all soon.
All right, Dean, that was our race winner tonight, Jason Ratliff with his 6th victory.
Man, what a job he did. Outthinking, outmaneuvering perhaps Chris Owens there for the win. Just coming up a little bit shy, and that's because Michael Walker can do math. He had it all figured out. What a night! Congratulations, Michael. You are the champion.
Thank you, Dean. I thought my pit decision last week was really going to cost me, but thankfully I did just enough tonight.
Well, let's talk about that then. Talk about this week's decision on pitting. You go extremely long there compared to the other guys. Were you concerned that not only position wise when you came out, you might be out of the championship lead, but secondly, that now you got to work your way through some traffic? I seen a little sketchy driving in front of you a couple times there.
Yeah, so coming into tonight, I knew I had a little cushion on Chris and Jason, and then it was really tight. I think I had 3 points on Troy and 2 on Wes. So Troy had his trouble and spun, and then at that point I was just making sure that Wes didn't lead a lap, pick up that bonus point, and when he pitted, I followed him in the next lap. So I was just going to pit one lap after him was the plan at that point.
Yeah, and that's a great plan there, Michael. I mean, that was so close. We're talking about who might pass a car or not pass a car to get that point as well for most passed cars. And, Pistol was closing in on you at one point there. Were you getting pretty worried?
Yeah, he got pretty close to me at one point there. I knew I needed to step it up a little bit, and fortunately got that gap back. So I think it was closer to almost a second or so. So felt pretty good about that little gap.
We've seen an evolution of you, Michael, across different series, and this car in particular, it just seems to be what you love. What do you love about this car so much?
Well, I really love the high horsepower. There's a lot of throttle sensitivity, I guess maybe how I should word it. It's very delicate on the throttle. I mean, if you just barely go a little too hard on it, you'll pay the price. Potentially self spin or eat your tires up. So I really enjoy that managing that aspect of it.
Man, it's just so impressive, and I'm so happy to hear you were thinking about Pistol and all that. Did you have any help with you tonight, Michael? I was saying at one point, if I'm in a 5-man battle for a championship, I'm going to need someone doing math in my ear.
Yeah, so Eric, shout out to him. He's the one that painted my car. He was talking to me and Jason and keeping us posted, and even helped us on the restart. So Eric Whiten, yeah, he definitely helped us out along the way there some tonight.
Well, these championships, they usually do come with a little bit of help, Michael, but this is a remarkable championship, not only for what happened here tonight and figuring it out, but 0 wins, Michael. 0 wins in a championship. How about that?
Man, that Rockingham race still bugs me. I burned my tires up, and George Lill took me to school there with 15 to go. So that one still eats at me a little bit. But yeah, I piled the top 5s and 10s up, and really shout out to my teammate Jason. He had a couple of races with internet issues and one or two with other things, and had it not been for all of that, this championship battle wouldn't even been close. Jason probably wins by 70 to maybe even 100 points.
Well, we'll go to Jared here. I'll give him a question for you as well. But Jared, first, a question for you. Who was the real life driver with no wins who won a championship?
In Cup, none. There's been a couple drivers in real life that won with 1 win, but the only driver to win a NASCAR title without any wins at all was Austin Dillon in the Nationwide Series at the time in 2013.
Well, there you go. I mean, even better than I thought. Jared, do you have anything for Michael here on his championship?
Michael, up here, I'm back up in the skybox here watching down the track, and I've watched you throughout the year make so many passes at the end of the year, and I don't know how many times I've gotten to interview you, but my goodness, how in the heck did you set up those late race passes? Because when it comes down to it, I mean, there was a couple weeks ago, and Dean, maybe you remember the race, but we're sitting there watching Michael Walker come through the field, and he was 10th place, and he ends up finishing sixth, and that's 4 points you gained in the last 2 laps, and that's the difference in your season. How did you get so good at getting those closing passes done this year?
Well, I think my mindset is, I'm willing to sacrifice some of the initial short run speed at the beginning of a run, so I have a little more tire left at the backside. So I think that having that little bit tire advantage in a lot of cases helps me pick up some spots at the end when I think others' tires may be falling off a little more.
I think it might
Well,
be a little
Michael,
more than
yeah,
that, Jared. The closer here is
yeah,
really, it's a mindset too, isn't it, Jared?
absolutely, and that's why I nicknamed you the closer. I mean, you were the best at picking up those late race passes, and really, in my opinion, Dean, that was the difference in this championship for you, Michael.
Yeah, it was. I'm so glad you brought it up, Jared, because we highlighted it during that one race. Those were late. I'm talking last lap, pick up 2 cars on that last corner. So huge. Michael, you're going to look back at all these races and you're going to think, there's a point. There's a point. There's a point. They all add up, don't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I kind of kicked myself multiple times though. I feel like I gave some points away. Uh, I recall at Darlington, I just lost mental focus, hit the wall, lost my 0x. Talladega, I collected Newton there, lost 0x, and kind of hurt his chances there. So there was a few races there I really shot myself in the foot, but then thankfully a lot of those races how they ended, picking up spots at the end certainly helped.
Typical driver. They always say drivers have long memories. That's not true. They only have long negative memories, Michael. But, a lot of positives here. You got the championship. Hallelujah. What a night for you, man. Big congratulations. We'll give you the mic. Anybody you want to shout out? Hell, anything you want to say, Michael.
Yeah, Dane. Before I forget, I just want to say how bummed I am for the your Blue Jays not pulling out that
Oh,
last.
man. A punch to the gut. Yeah, it was a
So
bummer.
hard to say the I know, so hard to say the Dodgers won that. But anyway, moving along, yeah, very again thrilled for to have Kylou Glass on board with us again, stepping up to sponsor this Tuesday night series. Of course, you guys put on a quality broadcast. I really enjoy going back and hearing your uh, analytics and typically learn something some of the things you guys say. So that's always cool. Of course, we're thankful for the East Coast Web Printer and JB. And yeah, and I can't forget about Mike Brown, and hopefully he's on the path to getting to go home here soon and live church. So all those that make the wheels go round. Of course, we can't forget Todd and the other admins for helping keep the ship pointed straight.
All right, Jared, champion Michael Walker the second. Unbelievable. What a night for him.
Absolutely, Dean. And I think now's a good time to kind of highlight some other drivers. We've had such a great year here at RGR. Want to shout out a few other guys out here tonight. Dean, the best average driver rating. That's Mr. Jason Ratliff. So congrats to him. How about the best average finish within, within a certain amount of races started? Let's say more than 10. That's Michael Walker the second. We talk about closing passes. Michael Walker won that one, 9 closing passes more than anybody else. And then quality passes, that was led by Chris Owens. That's any passes inside the top 10. So congrats to them. And the other thing I want to talk about is the number of incidents in this series. There was only one driver that did not have any incidents this year. Uh, uh, that I can see, Dean, and that was Greg Ratliff. So shout out to Greg, who missed some races toward the end of the year. But just wanted to shout out those drivers for leading some stats that I always like to look at.
Yeah, great stuff, Jared. It was just awesome, those stats. And one thing it does show me, these stats can be skewed here and there, but all in all, to give you a picture, I heard a lot of names that were in this championship battle, Jared.
Absolutely, and it was exciting. Everybody came down to play tonight. I mean, we talk about there were several different storylines. that were just throughout the entire race. I mean, it was building and building to this crescendo, and it looked like it was Chris Owens' race to lose. Jason Ratliff snuck in there and grabbed at the end, and Michael Walker was able to hold on to get that championship. And what a job for him! I can't wait to see how the schedule looks like next year, and maybe we'll get some different tracks involved, and maybe we'll have some new contenders at the front.
Yeah, this series here to stay. They'll have a winter series. We'll take 1 week off. We'll get right back at it, and I can't wait for that either. Don't forget, though, we got another one of these Thursday night, Gen 6, the championship series in the East Coast Web Printer Series. Can't wait for that one either. I'm sure that'll be a thriller as well. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Jared Carr, and before I wrap it up, I just want to say a big thank you to Jared. He's been a stalwart with me for many years, and we're blessed to have him in the booth. So a big thank you to him. And to Kylou Glass, hey, send me some samples or something, would you? I need some blown glass. I got some blown glass needs here at the house. But once again, that's going to wrap it up here at Homestead on Championship Night. And we'll see you right here next time on